Clearly Donruss Basketball dropped today, and it's got some hype. And yes, we still are doing the 1920 rookie class. We're actually doing the 1920 rookie class along with the 2021 rookie class. We're in that weird era of the crossover where the two rookie classes meet, and there's still new releases coming out for both of them.
More so than
I was gonna say more so now than I could ever remember. Because we have Prism Draft.
Yes,
Don't think it's coming out Friday.
but the first off the line came out.
First off the line's out on the shelf in the Mojobreak store. Sold out today. C-Rad's breaking it, so we're gonna see what that's all about. But not the regular release, not coming out Friday.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. So.
It's coming out on
got
the
pushed for some reason.
13th of November, I
Next
think.
Friday.
Next Friday, then. Okay, so they pushed it back a week. But yeah,
Breaking
but we
news.
still do, and I'm going to forget some, but we have Immaculate 1920. 1819 still coming out, too. Jeez. 1920 Immaculate. We got 1920 Flawless.
1-1.
And 1-1. And then the Premium Hoops, right?
Premium hoops.
So we got at least 4 1920 to chase Zion, Morant, all that coming out. Is there one I'm forgetting?
There probably is.
There's
Did
probably
you
one
say
more.
the Hoops Premium?
Yes.
You got that?
I did. Hoops
Did you
Premium,
get it-
Prism Optic.
Did you get Immaculate?
I did. It's hard. It's hard to count. You
Immaculate.
got to count them there. But so we got Clearly Donruss, which is the 1920, and I think in a case we pulled 2 autos, right? So we did a case this morning and broken up into two breaks. We pulled 2 autos, one being a John Morant, one being a Culver. So it was pretty good autos.
So
I think
2 autos in a
case.
In a case. Got it.
And I think Dan's auto was to 10, right? The
John
drop.
Morant to 10. Sticker, but still very cool. So many rookies. You're getting like 2 to 3 rookies per pack. Not per box, per pack.
So you're getting average on average. It's 4 packs. You're getting an average of 8 to 10 rookie cards per box.
You open up a case, you're getting multiples of every rookie.
That's good. That's good.
So it's the value is definitely there. I'm curious to see what these cards do raw on the secondary market.
Yeah, there's some things to consider, and I want to get you guys' opinion of this product because I hear mostly good things on Twitter. A lot of people are going after this stuff. Overseas is going wild for this stuff. From what I've heard from distributors is they're sending a lot of it overseas. They're getting requests for it overseas. But it is clear. So, I mean, it's the rated rookie, the Donruss design, and it's got the clear background. They even have the inserts. They have the My House. They have the stargazing, and those are all with that acetate clear finish. Me as a fan, I do like acetate in some extent. I can't say that I absolutely love this yet, but I could see where the value is. I think one thing to keep in mind here is the grading is going to change the game on these cards because, for one, there's a border on there, so they're not going to all be centered. And for 2, surface scratching is a big deal on the Clearly Donruss. So you got to keep that in mind. You got to really fine-tooth look over that card before you send it in for grading because just the way that they're made, they're going to show scratches very, very easily. So
Yep.
I'm going to move it over to C-Rad and see what your initial thoughts are and expectations of this Clearly Donruss product.
Well, I haven't actually seen the cards in person, only the preview pictures that everybody else has seen. So that I actually was going to ask you guys, like, in your opinion, does the card pop at all, like when you guys are opening it, compared to something like a high tech? Because I'm used to seeing high tech. Like, what is it like compared to that product?
It's printed on the same thing as It's the same acetate as high tech. So, very similar. It's like high tech with borders.
Okay.
High tech usually is like a
It
full
just has a background
like a full bleed type of no edges, no borders. This one you can definitely tell if it's off centered or not. Generally the cards seem to be coming out in pretty good condition. The borders you can definitely see if it's off centered. I don't see a lot of surface issues out of the gate. My thing is if there is a substantial influx of the base rated rookies that get sent to PSA and BGS, is that going to affect the overall grade?
Right, they may raise their curve.
Yeah,
right?
they may raise it if they get and there's going to be an influx and they may come in quick. There may be 1,000 of certain rookies in the first month or two.
How
right?
many? So for example, how many base Zions did you have in your house?
I think I had 1 base Zion and then 1 insert Zion.
Okay, so I had 2 variations, 2 base, and an insert. In
So my thing is, if everybody is packing those up and sending them to BGS or PSA, is that going to affect the scale of the grading? Even if the cards are in great condition, they can't give out all 10s, right?
Well, and that's my thing with BGS and PSA is that, like, if they see 100 of the same card all day, it's
how do you figure
they're
out?
going to scrutinize it probably even more. That's why, like, you know what I'm saying, this is just a theory of mine. I waited to send a lot of the Prism stuff until now because I felt like, you know, there's so many that I'm sure they still have a lot, but, like, compared to when the Prism stuff came out, I feel like, you know, now people may be grading, like, the Mosaic Football or the Prism. You know, it's kind of like, I don't want to compare this to The Voice, but, like, if you watch the show The Voice, the beginning, they all build teams on The Voice, right? They have to have 10 candidates, and at the beginning they have no candidates, so they're taking people right away. Well, towards the end, when each member has 9 people, there may be a phenomenal singer, but they don't take them, right? Because they already have a full team. It's kind of like what I compare grading to is they've seen so much that now their scale is now broadened, and they're not going to give you that 10. Now, if they don't see it for a while, then they may give you a 10. Just my opinion. I don't know if it's fact, but that's kind of what I'm saying. So the
better you are at singing, the better grades you get?
Absolutely. That's the story.
That's what I got out of it. So I'm
on.
like, okay, so you basically got to call them up, give them a little jingle over the phone, and they're like, you're pretty good. We're going to give you all 10s.
Yeah, that's how I do it. I sing them. I go with Nickelback. It seems like they're a big fan of Nickelback, so that's the song of choice.
I don't know,
with PSA.
Southern California, I'd say Red Hot Chili Peppers.
311,
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Sublime.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know about.
I was just saying, when you know, you may have a 10, but they've seen so many cards that day that they're not going to give you a 10, if that makes sense. So, like I said, I don't know if that's a proven theory, but that's the theory I go with as I wait until it's a little bit less in demand and get it graded. But that may affect your top dollar, you know?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You may not get the release. If you're flipping the card, you may not get that top dollar for the week 1 release that you would get if you sold it the week it came out.
I think you do have a good point, though. I think it has something to do with if a certain grader is seeing 30 to 40 of the same cards in a day, how are they going to tell the difference really between something that's a 9 or a 10 or an 8? And at what point, like the first couple, you know, maybe the first 10, those are going to get better grades. But then you're like, man, this one actually is a little bit better than one I graded before. Go back and you're like, maybe that other one was a 9. Like,
I think it's
how do you...
It's human nature. Just like, for example, that's why I use this argument about, like, the Jordans. And like, so let's just say somebody sent in 5,086, 87 Fleer cards, and there was like 100 Jordans, right? And maybe somehow they got 2 9s and 2 10s. And then you had one Jordan where you, like, magnified it, and you're like, man, this thing's centered. This is going to get a 10. And that same grader gets your Jordan right after he did that PSA order, and he's like, I really don't feel right putting another 10 on the market.
I also, and we talked about this before, do they look at the pop report and say, we can't...
Right.
We like, does that ever come into They say
effect? It doesn't, but I'm sure it has to.
But it has to, right? Like, if I get, like you're saying, 10 Jordans come in, 10 86, 87 Jordans come in, and the first 4 or 9s, and then there was a couple 10s. It's like I'm almost due to give like an 8, regardless of what the condition of the card is.
I would probably.
Like not all these cards.
Or you're going to scrutinize it further. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, you're going to look for the flaws.
Yes.
Because you're like, I can't give everybody 9s and 10s today.
That's a good. I'd love to talk to somebody from PSA.
I think a lot of people
you also got to figure that. Well, you also got to figure that if there's a guy that does 86, 87 Fleer, there's probably not 10 guys in the building that do 86, 87 Fleer. Right?
Well, you figure there's
probably a guy that does that.
There has to be a handful of guys who that's their specialty.
Right.
Like I'm the vintage guy. I'm the
Prism guy.
I'm the Prism guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I'm like the optic guy. I'm like the surface guy. So if you have like any chrome cards, I really look into detail of the surface and stuff like that. So I don't know. Maybe I should quit and go work for PSA, and then I can get some inside information.
intel. Yes.
I mean, they'll never actually. They'll never hire me at PSA. We know where I stay. Like,
well, but
they may have a picture of me on the wall saying like, "Do not let this guy in there." May have a restraining order against me. I don't know. They could. BGS, they welcome me with open arms.
Maybe you could do like that.
Come right in.
What's that undercover boss? Maybe you could like get like a long hair and put a mustache on. And you could
I had long hair.
You could be like Danderson. Yeah, I know you did. No, that's true.
I'm growing the mustache out too.
Yeah, the Movember.
Yeah, why not?
So, but what do you think in the grant? Like when all the dust settles, all these releases come out for 1920, right?
Yeah.
Where does this fall with Prism, with Optic, with Donruss? I mean, where does this fall in line? Is this one that we move to the top, or is this one that's just kind of a novelty?
Without actually, it's obviously I got to spend some time seeing this product, what it does, and seeing it myself as well. But I think they chose a good product to do this acetate on because we know that those have been in this in the hobby for a while now. They tried this back in 15-16 with Clear Vision.
Yes.
And that was a disaster, complete disaster of a product. And it kind of followed the same configuration almost, like it wasn't a lot of hits at all.
It was like 1 or 2 autos per case.
And then they were trying that thing where it was like the clear acetate, but then they also had cardboard on top of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was like a double layered card.
It was a double layered card, which was a disaster.
Like Upper Deck does it with Synergy.
Yes, and I didn't really like that design at all. But so I think it's smart Panini to go. They wanted to obviously bring this clear acetate product back somehow. So it was smart going with the Donruss design, right? Because they probably didn't want to. They probably didn't want another. I'm just guessing here, but I feel like they probably didn't want another Prism
or Optic for that matter. Right?
You know what I mean? So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Long term, it's hard to say. But Clear Vision in 15-16 was a complete fail. But they choosing a design that people, because I like the Donruss and I like the rated rookies a lot. So. We'll see.
It's funny, and we'll move on to the next topic, but it's funny that you look at the time we're in, because if this product would have came out in 14-15 and somebody would have came into your shop and said, like, how much is that? And you're like, for one, it'd probably be $80 a box. And for two, it'd be like, how many, do I get an autograph? And you'd be like, well, there's 2 in a case. They'd be like, well, why? And like, well, that's just how they did it. Oh, yeah. Okay, you have something else. Because back then, it was autographs, mem, all that stuff. Now we've completely flipped, and it's like Panini could just put 2 autos in an entire case. Mm-hmm. And, the parallels are what people are going for. So it's just funny how the times evolved in less than like 5 years, really.
I don't know if this needs to be a standalone product. I think they should incorporate this into a subset in the original Donruss release.
That's a good idea.
So, like,
kind of how they do with Contenders with the clears?
Yeah, maybe if you basically do one clear, or maybe two clears per case, and have it a short printed extra subset, because people love that stuff, and I think it would definitely add value. I know it cost a lot of money to make these clear cards, so they probably are like, let's do a standalone product so we can make more of it and make more money.
It must be, because that's why they did the same thing with Clear Vision, which we were in a different time. So it must be they must be wrapped up in the cost of the cards.
Yeah, because you never see a lot of in the clear. Even in high tech, it's not a ton of autograph content.
Yeah.
It seems like a lot of the cost of the product is wrapped up in the physical card itself, so they can't add extra cost and autograph content to it. Mm-hmm. You know what I've never seen? Like a clear card, like a thick clear card. Upper Deck has done them, but they're more glass.
Yep.
But if they could figure out a way to embed a relic into it, I've never seen it. Why doesn't it exist?
Remember they had that, what was that football product where they did like home and away, and it had like a little, like the relic swung around.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That was
dumb.
That was dumb.
They still do that every now and
I guess they do. I guess they do relics, but
they
it's like a cardboard back of the card, and then they put the midnight acetates, and they put the acetate on top of it, so it's sandwiched. But it's never been like a full acetate card with a relic.
Yep.
Chris had a point about the PSA that we were talking about. I agree. I sent a video of a guy who broke 89 Upper Deck and sent in PSA about 25 of them only got 1, 10, 4 9s. The rest 6, 7, and 8. So you could tell the difference between a 7 and 10.
My issue is I hear a lot of stories about that, and I just go back to the whole, like, is it actually grading of the card, or is it having a formula for what percentage could be given out? Because if you send in 10 cards of the same exact card, no matter the condition, you're not going to get 10 10s.
No.
Never going to happen.
Yep.
It's never going to happen. But why there should be that 1 or 2 times, maybe it should happen.
Yeah, exactly.